Hello, Marketing Freaks. It's Aiden, and it's another episode of Marketing Freak. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about the revenue production marketing, or the importance of having a marketing type framework or strategy to help you with your marketing and to separate kind of marketing to sales. So, let's take a look at what I'm referring to. I'm going to just share my screen here. And here we go here. So I'll make sure you're seeing everything here. So just give me a sec. So, yeah, there we go. Perfect. So the one thing that's important to understand is the separation between marketing and sales, but there's some synergies and some similarities between the two. And the one that kind of needs to be kind of part of the company culture, the marketing process, the sales process, or what underpins both, is the story that you're telling, your point of differentiation. We can have all kinds of sexy data and neat different terminologies and all these things we can have from a marketing standpoint or a sales standpoint, but most people don't remember that stuff, but they do remember the story. So your company wants to be aligned with the story of differentiation, the story of value, the story of the outcomes that you deliver. So that's number one. So when I use the cleaning industry as an example, marketing has a story and sales has a story, but it's the same story. So the story, the outcomes, your message is not cleaning for appearance, but cleaning for health. And the outcomes of that are reduce sick days, improve cognitive function, improve productivity, improve math scores, improve reading scores, improve reducing water consumption, reducing energy costs. There's a whole bunch, right? So that's the story. And sales has that story and marketing has that story. So that needs to be aligned. And when you're one-to-many marketing, you're marketing your message. And when you're one-to-one sales, you are asking deeper questions. You're getting more precise, but based around the outcomes you deliver, not around your product and stuff, because then it becomes a price-driven conversation. So your message is important. So when we're talking about revenue production marketing, or RPM, what we're talking about is all the different ways to market, all the different ways to get in front of our prospect, to create awareness. We want to create brand awareness, but we want to create the story. So the one that comes to mind right now is Nike, right? They're not sitting there telling you on most of their ads how great their shoes are. They're saying just do it. They're saying, hey, there's something better inside of you. It's an image, an outcome of using their products will deliver this, right? Could you get that same outcome using someone else's shoes and clothing? Of course you could. But you don't associate that. You associate that story, that image, that identity with Nike. Same type of thing. So when we're prospecting, when we're marketing, and we're using these outcomes, these tools, Facebook, LinkedIn, podcasts, Instagram, YouTube, blogs, webinars, and just plain old cold calling with the business card there is the symbol of that. It's around the message, right? And that's where the marketing happens. We're creating awareness, and then what we're trying to do is we're trying to get a phone number, right? I'm trying to relate it to dating, right? You try to get a phone number, or you start having a private conversation on the dating apps, or what have you. It's now gone from casting this big net, going to on different dates, or going to the bar, or going on the apps, whatever, to finding someone, a prospect, a suspect, someone that's of interest. And then that becomes more focused, right? Now you get a phone number, you're having a conversation. So the prospecting is no different. it's casting a wide net. And when you have an alignment and attraction and interest, or a suspect, someone that you think you can add value to, and is and that is you get the phone number, you capture that information. And that's what this part is. It's capturing the information, is having it go into some type of program that you can start now going from casting a wide net to now capture that program, that information. And now you can start to have a one-to-one dialogue. And it might take a long time. In fact, it does take a long time. But it's just no different than dating, where you might have a coffee date, and then eventually it goes to a dinner date, and then it starts going to dates a few times a week or what have you. Both parties are getting more involved. So you have to capture the information before we can do that. And that, in the old days, that was phoning someone on a regular basis. It was walking in the door on a regular basis. But because of technology and time and changing behaviors of consumers and the B2B market, we can do a lot of that through technology. We can do this through utilizing LinkedIn as an example, not just LinkedIn on the social platform aspect, but the sales navigator, the prospecting tool they have, right? Where we can do the same thing. But what we're wanting to do is we're wanting to create a relationship based around our story and the outcomes. And we can only do that by capturing their information and being in contact with them on a regular basis. So that's where we're taking the marketing comes in, and now marketing is funneling it down, and we're going to eventually pass it on to sales, or we're going to put on our sales hat if we're one person or what have you, right? But we're marketing and we capture that information. So once we capture that information, then the content that we deliver can be some of the same content you do at the beginning, but it's more specific. Right now that you've captured somebody, they're no longer cold traffic, they're warm traffic, right? They've entered their email address to get an ebook or something. They've given you a business card. They've signed up for a webinar. You've talked them through LinkedIn, say, can I email you some information? Whatever, right? They're no longer cold, they're warm. And so the information, the content that you start delivering is still based on the outcomes that you're delivering, still based on your story, but it's more specific. So instead of saying, at the beginning here when you're prospecting, instead of it being, hey, cleaning is based around cleaning for health, now it's more specific. Now you start giving examples and stories and case studies of how it's cleaning for health, and customers that have benefited from it, or facilities that have implemented it. Right, so your story is still the same, but you're getting more intimate. You're now having a coffee date, and you're sharing more about your life. To put it in the dating world perspective, that most people have dated, so they kind of get that. So we're capturing that information, but that the content we give them is a little bit more personal. It's a little bit more geared towards their business, a little bit more geared towards their job description. It's a little bit more. We're giving more gold. We're giving more value, more specific value as we progress. So once we capture the information, we do this through engaging with them, right? So we send that information to them. They either open the email or they don't. If they do, we're communicating with them, and we're progressing that conversation, that relationship. Now, if they're not opening anything, they sign up for your ebook, or they said, yeah, send me some information, and then they never open it and never do anything, you don't want to waste your valuable dollars and your more expensive salespeople on focusing on those people that are looky-loos and are not interested in dating. They're not interested in talking about marriage down the road. They're just interested in checking out your profile, what have you, right? So why would you spend more dollars, more time on that with your salespeople that are usually a more cost per transaction, or through more cost per engagement, as opposed to one-to-many, one-to-one, so it's more time, right? More cost. So you're engaging. The ones that open your email, the ones that you have a phone conversation with, the ones that ask for more information, what have you, you don't want to leave this up to just the individual salesperson or just up to yourself. You get busy, you drop the ball. You need to have a program in place that's helping you, not a micromanagement tool that's asking where you were at 10:15 and why you were an hour and a half in that sales call. I'm not talking about that crap. I'm talking about utilizing tools that help you with sales enablement, sales automation. It doesn't mean that you're out of the equation. It means you're using those tools to help you with your time so that you can get more done. So when someone opens up the emails, when they have engaged, we're scoring them. It's a digital footprint. It's a digital fingerprint. So when you go to your list of 100 people, maybe there's only 5 that have opened up anything. Well, those are the people that we send a second email to, or we phone them, or we send them more engagement content. Maybe instead of a link, we send them an ebook, or instead of an ebook, we send them a video, because they're interested, because their behavior is indicated that. And once their behavior has indicated that there's interest, that it's worth spending your time or your salesperson's time to stop that and actually go from one to many to one to one. The math, the data is telling you this has a good probability of potentially being something. This prospect is a probability of maybe having a long-term relationship and maybe eventually getting married, to put it in terms, right? This is worth your investment of time and resources. And so the system's telling you that. And that's when they become sales ready. That's when sales gets involved. That's when marketing hands off to sales. So that's when marketing sits back and goes to the sales manager and says, hey, here are these 10 leads, get sales involved, or what have you, or whatever your process is. You're now going to spend that time to have one-to-one dialogue, one-to-one interaction. So this is very important, especially if you're prospecting outside of just a regional territory. If you start going multi-regional, provincial or state, or multinational, or what have you, you have to have this, because there's no way you could do all that. If you're just a small little territory, 5 miles here, 5 miles there, maybe you don't need this. But if you're talking about spending your time wisely and focusing on helping automate your cold traffic to your warm traffic to your hot traffic or leads, then that's where this comes into play. So I hope you found this of value. It is important that you spend your time, your investment in doing this, or having someone do it for you, because it's really going to reduce the amount of time you spend, prospecting and wasting your time on people that are just kicking tires. So leave the kicking tires to your competitors. Get more focused, embrace a system like Revenue Production Marketing, or a system like it. There's lots out there. DM me if you want more information. I'm Aidan Rigg. I hope you've enjoyed this. I will see you next week on Marketing Freak, every Thursday, 12 p.m. Pacific.